What's that? You want to learn how to grow lettuce? Caterpillar. Now lettuce has got to be one of the most favourite crops of the season. You can use it as a base in salads, it looks good, it's easy to grow, and it tastes bloody great. And it's versatile. There's hundreds of varieties, it just looks good in the vegetable patch when people come over and show off your lettuces. You know, there's nothing better than having a nice display of lettuce. But this is the thing, I've fallen into this trap. Now I know you're probably going to sit there and say, leave it out. You can't be serious. But I used to fall in this trap of growing lettuce and not wanting to pick it because it just looks so beautiful. It's silly, but honestly, you can fall into that trap. The lettuces that are behind me here really should be harvested now. When they get to a certain age, the chances of them bolting grow quicker. And lettuce, usually known as a cool weather crop, if it gets too hot or too dry in summer, all of a sudden you've got this torpedo of a seed stem growing through the middle of the head of the lettuce. And you know, even if it hasn't quite broke through yet, when that starts to happen, it can turn the lettuce a bit bitter, and it's not really at its best. So don't fall into that trap of just wanting to see them in the bed. You know, you've got to harvest them. I think it's better to harvest one early before the head really even gets going to take that risk away. Really, with lettuce, what you've got to try and do is get successional sowings. Now, what I would bear in mind is I like to sow them in an old egg box, or the modular trays, and I really just try and put 3 seeds per tray, per cell. And what you'll end up with then is probably 1 or 2, or sometimes 3, sometimes they'll germinate, plants a cell, and it just lets them get to that small but robust enough size you can grab hold of them and put them in the ground. And what you'll find is if you do sort of 20-25 lettuces like that, some of them will go a bit slower, some will go a bit faster, so you'll end up with a succession within that one sowing. But I would recommend, at least for density, try and do a sowing every month. And it's that old thing, isn't it? You think, oh, and you never get round to it, but honestly, trust me, if you stick to it, you will be so abundant in lettuce, you will take it for granted, and you'll actually find yourself having to eat it quicker than what you'd normally have to, just because you've got so much of it. It's just organisation really with lettuce, you know, and if you get it going, and if there's enough of it, you know, you shouldn't fall into the problem of having too much slug damage and things like that. I like to grow them in raised beds, somewhere I know I can just keep them moist enough, but not so moist and boggy that the slugs love it. And you know, also try and keep as many bushes and trees so that the birds come down for the lettuce. I mean, that is the one thing with lettuce, things love to eat it, so you've got to mitigate that. But if you've got a few out there and you really have a good go, you know, try just by damage limitation, by growing so many, you should have some success. And once they get strong and get going, they can actually take a little bit of things eating them. It's just when everything's so delicate early on in the season, that's when you have problems. Now I think your best bet with lettuce, if you've got a glass house or a polytunnel, you can pretty much grow this stuff all year round. It's so worth doing because, you know, once you start to take advantage of the whole year, and crops like lettuce do that for you, you know, you can still get a crop in lettuce. I mean, January, February, things are a bit slow, but you know, you can get a whole lot more out of your season. And actually, you know, if you're on a sort of low carb diet or something like that, I eat a lot of Greek salads, and I tell you what, you can have a lot. And I've talked about parsley before. Parsley's another one that you can harvest in the winter, even unprotected. With them too, you can have a base of any salad, you know, you want, and it's just a great thing to have. So lettuce is just a must-have. You have to have lettuce in the garden. They germinate really easy, and what I just say is, with the soil, just make it fertile, moisture retentive, and fluffy. So there's air in the soil, you know, it likes a little bit of air in the soil, I've noticed. Doesn't like ground that gets too compact. If you want a good fluffy lettuce, it's good to have a good fluffy soil. Now what you can do with lettuce, if you don't want to grow them big into the big headed varieties, you can use them as what they call a microgreen. Now they say you can get 4 or 5 times more the croppings out of one area. You can do it that way, you know. I'm not going to lie, I don't really do it, to be honest. I like to see big stonking big bastards in my vegetable patch, but no, you can do it like that. You can just use them as a microgreen and just chop them as you need them. They're very, there's many options with lettuce, but really the most important thing to do is get in that system of sowing them. And you know, when they're small, I used to sow them direct and I had problems. You know, sometimes you get lucky. Do the modular cells if you can, or their cup. It just gets them boosted on the windowsill. They germinate within 2 or 3 days, and then before you know it, you've got a little black cat coming up to you and it's all right, she ran away now. She bites. I call it a beast of Buckinghamshire, that one. Yeah. So anyway, to sum up then, lettuce, you've got to give it a go in the garden. Don't be one of them visual gardeners. If you've got the system right and you've got the succession, try and cut them before they bolt. Don't let them bolt. Keep them well watered. Keep them cool. If they're in full sun in the middle of the summer, try and position your plants so they get a little bit of shade perhaps. But overall, a great crop. Get out there, give them a go. Don't rely on them 50p ones in the supermarket. You can grow your own. Not only can you grow them in the summer months with a bit of cover or a clutch, you can grow them all year round. So there you have it. Lettuce. It's not just rabbit food. It's very good for you. Get out there and grow some. Perfect. Just look at that head. Look at that head.